How about now? It looks like I have sound now. I don't know why it wasn't connected. Hello? Let me know if it's good now. It looks okay on my end now. Because I've got like bars moving when I talk, but just, the things that happen when we go live. That means you had no idea what I was talking about. Ugh, it's okay. I usually don't say anything super important. We're just talking about how I'm excited to see Nell just like be really, really cool in the upcoming episodes and to get some backstory. I really do want to know some backstory of Nell. I'm like nervous to keep talking because no one in the chat has told me that they can actually hear me. Unless my chat's just being weird again, in which case I just can't see it. Which is a different issue that I have dealt with. Let's see. Because usually there are more people here than there are right now. I don't see any of my regulars, which makes me feel like maybe my chat isn't updated. No? People just not coming? How very odd. Well, I'm gonna make the assumption that I'm not muted. Weird that there are more people here, though. Gosh, the fan on my computer just got really, really loud. Um, which is like worrisome, but I have thought. Yeah, so it looks like we're gonna be getting some backstory for Nell, which I'm excited about because I do want to like I want to know more about like why she got kicked out, like where she fit in the dynamic of the whole Spada thing. Okay, thank you, Breno, telling me that I have sound now. That'll be interesting for the playback. For anyone else, it's gonna be me like talking without any sound. But yeah, I'm interested to see like how Nell fit into kind of the dynamic of the Espada. Um, Looks like we're gonna find out about the fight where like her mask got cracked and some of like why she left or got kicked out or how she might have lost her memories. I want to see her use some cool powers and beat people up. Especially uh Neutra. I'll always not be confident about their names, but I'm excited for someone to like throw him around a bit because he deserves it for just like attacking Ichigo immediately after he fought Grimjo. Sure. We also it's really been like I guess we also have the fight with Ishida and Renji that's going on too, which I feel like I like block out of my head because it makes me so uncomfortable with the whole like dolls thing that's going on and like the crushing of internal organs that's happening with that. I feel like my brain just like doesn't want to contemplate having to deal with that fight more. But I guess we will. We'll have to. There's usually more going on in the chat, so it's weird to not have some of the people that are usually here hanging out. Did I find it weird that Nell got older but her voice stayed the same? I mean, it's not exactly the same. There is some difference in it, but that might just be like in terms of her not being kind of like a more goofy comic relief character. So, that also might be part of it, is just like she's a little bit more serious, so the tone of her voice might be a little bit different as opposed to like actually like dropping. Um, I think it's weird that like the form that she went with when she lost her memories was like a small child. Like I would have assumed that she would have just looked basically the same. Like I don't understand why the uh drastic change in her appearance, but who do I like more, Nell, Yoroichi, or Rukia? I think I like Yoroichi more. She's still like in the top tier of the characters that I like in Bleach. I don't know. I've always thought Nell was like very sweet and cute, and now she's like kind of awesome and has these cool powers and stuff. So um I feel like I'm still trying to like it wasn't so much that like Nell was one of my favorite characters before, whereas like now I'm kind of like reconfiguring how I think about her. So maybe Nell will grow on me even more. But I mean I like Rukia too, but I don't know. There's something about Yoroichi that I just really enjoy. Even when it's just like she was a sarcastic cat. I appreciated her as a character. So, shall we watch episode 194 and get some of Nell's backstory? Because I'm excited for that. I'm not so excited about the Ishida Arenji fight, because if I have to keep going back to that one, it's just gonna keep freaking me out. Yeah, Machiavelli, there's less people today. I don't know why that would be, but maybe people are busy with life. I know I get busy, so 194 is hype, is it? I'm excited for it. I'm not buffering a whole lot. I try to do some things so that it wouldn't be as buffery and weird, but we'll see how it works out. Okay, episode 194 in 3, 2, 1, go. Mastoid. We're distancing even on the internet. I know some people like have to catch up on my videos. Like I know on weekends I get like a bunch of comments on the videos I posted during the week because people are just like catching up on stuff, which I get. I do that too. Saturdays are like catching up on my reaction videos too, so I miss a lot of the characters that they're showing in the openers that we just haven't seen in a while. How's like Ichigo's family? I just wonder about these things. Yes. Defeated the clones just in time for the weird Machiavelli. Imagine pink-haired Espada and Mayuri in the same room. I mean, I feel like they got along, but I feel like they wouldn't. I almost because I feel like they would just try to experiment on each other. Freaked me out when he was like twisting it to like open the doll, because I was like, if this is gonna end with somebody like their spine getting broken, I'm just gonna be too distraught. Okay, but can I say one thing? It kind of bothers me that Denji like has his Bankai out and he did nothing in that moment to prevent himself from being like attacked by the wing flower thing that turned him into a doll. Like he just like puts his arm up like that'll do anything. Yeah, I agree, Reno. That like Adenji is like such he's so much better at fighting than I think people give him credit for, down to like even the show. Like I feel like even the show doesn't give him uh give him the credit that he deserves as a fighter. Like he kind of gets like beat up to prove how strong different opponents are. Noitara might be my least favorite character, like most hated character after today. We'll see. But I care very much for them. Just a disaster. Are they gonna go find Nil though? Oof. Ichigo, just take five. Let Hime heal you. Take five. Oof. Deal with him, maybe. Deal with Eye Patch. Ooh, flashback? Yeah, her out, obviously. Ooh, did his tattoo say 8? Did that used to be his ranking? Ooh, he deserves it though. I wish Orihime was more of a fighter too, Machiavelli. There's so many times when I wish she would like get involved and she doesn't. Sorry, the sass though. Fair enough. That is the difference between instinct and like actually being a fighter, isn't it? There's like reaction and then there's like actually having like a reason to seek out conflict. Ooh, yeah, okay. Sure, that's it. It's because you got beat up by a girl and you're mad about it now. I definitely want her to beat him up now. Yeah, Machiavelli, relax. Like, I really need her to like completely total him. So they were with her when she was in Espada. I was wondering that. Like, I was wondering when they met each other, if it was like outside of Las Noches or if they had, been together before that. Hello again. Also a good point. It's being intimidating in and of yourself that is like the real thing, right? Before, because that looked like they were more human looking. That's interesting. I always just assumed that they were Arrancar that, like, didn't have, like, more human forms. But it looks like they did originally. This music's pretty cool too. I like the like fencing style to Nell's fighting too. Ugh, that look though. I'm excited for her to just like I mean, I know that this ends with her like her mask getting cracked, so I know that like to a certain extent she doesn't win this conflict, but did he like get some kind of help from pink-haired Espada? That's why we saw that clip of him. Because I don't like that he is involved in this somehow. Was it a way for them both to like rise in the ranks? Because I know that he's uh Noitra is like 8 now, but then pink hair is 8 like in the current timeline of the show. So are they getting rid of Nell so they could all shift the ranks? Drop. It makes me uncomfortable that Noitra and I'll never pronounce his name right. Pink hair are like friends somehow. Even just like partners vaguely. See, it looks like Pesce and Donachaka are like in human form, which is interesting. Can they go back to human form? Like Nell got her old form back? Could they also do that? But it was they talked about their masks being pulled off, so like is it not possible because of that? Okay, so that's why or that's a theory of why she became a child again. How is this weapon staying in place? It's just like floating on his back. Family. Mm. I love that they took care of her anyway. Like, they cared enough about her that even when she didn't have, like, her rank or power anymore, that they looked out for her. That's so sweet. Oh, oof. He's a very determined person. Ooh. Ooh, the Achilles tendon. That's... Oh, I definitely should have gotten Totoro before this happened. Cliche. Ooh, are we finally gonna see Boa Boa again? Hold up. Boa Boa would be with them the whole time? I just assumed he was outside hanging out. Really? Oh, I like the Boa Boa is back. Yeah. Arenchi is used a bit to be like, look how strong this enemy is before someone else like takes over and actually wins the fight, which makes me a little bit sad. Ooh, with her bare foot though. Release? Yes. Show me your released form. No! SSS, hello! It's okay, everyone seems to be late to the party today, but that's okay. Oh, I want to see Nell's released form so bad. I'm excited to see that, like, uh, Teshe and, like, Donachaka are, like, I guess actually good at fighting. Like, I always feel like they were a bit ridiculous and, comedic. Maybe part of that's their personality, but it might have been, like, exaggerated because they were dealing with, like, this child Nell and they were trying to, like, keep her away from as much conflict and stuff that might spark her memories. So I wonder how much of it was an exaggeration in order to like keep her safe, and how much of it was like actually their personalities. Oh, okay. I'm more excited for the next episode. I'm gonna be honest, cause I want to see Nell's released form a lot. But it is interesting to me that like Elle and Pesce and Donachika were like these very like comedic relief characters, which I think was like needed a little bit at the beginning, because there was like so much like kind of darkness in the storyline, especially with like even like Ichigo himself was like in a much darker place at the beginning of the whole like Arrancar. Well, I guess not the Arrancar arc, but like when they first showed up in Hueco Mundo, um, that like all of them were kind of in this like darker mindset because of like what was going on with the Arrancar and Aizen and Orihime and stuff like that. So having like some characters that were a little bit more carefree was a nice way of kind of balancing out the tones of the show. But like now they're like starting to be cool, and I'm like, I don't know what to do with that information because they were just like ridiculous. What am I supposed to do with Pesce being like maybe actually good at fighting? Uh, as for, do you think Kubo intentionally made Orihime less combative? I mean, I think that really fits with like who Orihime is. Like, I do think that she's like more of a passive person in general, and I've talked about that a few times in like past episodes of just like Orihime not having that fighter mindset in general. So it doesn't bother me that she's not like seeking out conflict or that she's like jumping at the chance to be part of a conflict, because that I find fits with her character. But I would just like her to be like a little bit more active in like any of the scenes. Because it used to be like before, like at the end of the first arc, and then like even a little bit in the like Soul Society arc, like she was at least willing to like directly get involved. Like she kind of had this impulse to be involved, but um like yeah, like Masvoid, whether it was throwing a shield or like right, like remember in like the Soul Society arc where she knew that Ichigo was like fighting Byakuya, like she could sense it, and like her instinct was to just like run in and help him. And like now she's just like sitting off to the side being worried, and I'm like, what happened to the girl that slapped Ulquiorra? Where's that girl right now? Because that was like that was ballsy to just like go up to Ulquiorra and smack him. Yeah, I agree at SSS. There are like more combative female characters in the show too. Like and that's the thing too, where like I don't feel like overall, like sometimes shonen anime female characters overall are like not written well, and it's like an issue of the story overall. But like Kubo, I think like he can write good female characters, and he can write like interesting and dynamic and like offensive and aggressive female characters. I just feel like Orihime like isn't being used well. Like it almost feels like now that she's with Ichigo, she like has given up trying. And I don't understand why. Like it seems weird to me. Because there were moments when she was like by herself, or even like in Soul Society when she was like with Ishida, where she was like coming up with plans and like she stole the like Shinigami costumes, and like was having like this active part in what was going on. And then like for some reason when she's with like Ichigo now, she's just sitting off to the side waiting to see what happens. I mean, Ramiro, like I agree that Orihime is like support, but it doesn't even Ichigo for like personal reasons, or even just like because you want to look out for him, but also like she knows that like Seto and Arukia are, if she doesn't think they're dead, she thinks they're close to being dead. And I'm like, why are we staying here when we can bring people back from the dead? Also, can we like acknowledge the fact that Orihime is like she can control time and thus bring people back from the dead, and she is sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what happens. It just, I don't know. It frustrates me a little bit. Yeah, Mass Void. Like she has like this initiative. Like even like when we first saw her power, back when she was protecting Tatsuki, like when she first unlocked it, like she was in that fight on her own, and she like held her own. And like, obviously their opponents are more powerful now, but like she just I feel like she's just given up in this arc. Like she got captured and taken to Las Noches, and she's just kind of stopped trying. And I don't know if that's like something psychological. Like I don't know if that's her having to deal with something going on internally, but like I just I want her to do something more interesting. I agree. Slashing Strawberry, like you can't expect what to rush into a fight, and I get that she's like not gonna have that like, and I'm like, why? Like obviously part of it is her like shock. Part of it is like her trying to deal with the fact that like all of this stuff is happening, and like maybe she wasn't thinking clearly, but I don't know. I just feel like she's become weirdly passive, or like weirdly um like in need of somebody to tell her what to do, which is not what I'm used to. Remember when she was like, I'm gonna be like a really good like fighter, like a wrestler in like the first arc? Like that was a thing that she talked about. Cause she was like in like her like dream, like drawing of her like future self or whatever. I mean, SSS, yeah, like that's what I was saying. I'm like, I don't know if some of it's like psychological, like she's been through a lot at this point, and maybe that in and of itself is part of the reason she isn't showing the initiative before. Like we already know from like going into them going to uh like when they were training at the beginning of the Arrancar arc that she kind of had to decide whether or not she was a fighter or not. And she had like that conversation with Urahara where she like had to make a decision about whether or not she was going to be someone who trained and got stronger or if she was going to stay where she was. But I don't know. I mean, obviously being a hostage and like being a hostage with people who were definitely like abusive to her could also have some effect. I don't want to make it seem like I wish that she was a little bit more there's a little more initiative being shown, but I also understand that like there are also circumstances that could explain why she isn't. But like they're not acknowledging it in the show, so that's kind of where I'm like if there was like more of a focus on it, then maybe it would be like less frustrating. Yeah, I agree, Mass Void, that it's like I, I don't know, we don't know exactly how much happened while she was like with Aizen and um just like in Las Noches in general, so like who knows what could have happened to her, but I don't know. I just want her to fight back a little bit. But let's watch episode 195, shall we? Because I want to see Nell's form, her release form. In three, two, one, go. Also, hi, AB. You're a little late, but on time for this episode. It also, like, makes me wonder, like, what Aizen would have done to her if he can, like, manipulate, like, senses and stuff, and, like, make illusions and stuff, that, like, what that might have, like, what he might have done to Orihime. Like, I don't really know to what extent, like, she interacted with him. I don't know. I was kind of hoping that when he got her, like, separated, when she was, like, in Las Noches by herself, that we would get to see her kind of progress as a character, independent of, like, kind of leaning on Ichigo and, like, Ishida and all these other characters that we've seen her with up to this point. But, and she had that thing where she was, like, determined, where she's like, I'm gonna, like, find a way to get out of here by myself, and then we, like, never saw anything about that ever again. Okay, but if Noitara's thing is he's like, I can't stand having there be like a female who's stronger than a male or whatever, aren't there other female Espada? So like, is he mad at them? Or is it just because Nell was like top three back then? I don't feel good about like Pesce and Boa Boa going up against an Espada though. Like I don't know if they'll have the power for that. It also makes me wonder about like Pesce's mask and like how much of it's like him act like his actual face, or if it's just like a hollow mask that he wore. Or like rock music coming in. You know, something cool's about to happen. Heck of a release. Ooh. Ooh, she's like a centaur. That's cool, actually. With like a jousting. I don't know what those are called, but oh, it's like a lance. Ooh. Even Ichigo's like, what just happened? I'm with you, Ichigo. I'm also of that mindset. Okay, but like, you're really not allowed to hurt blah blah. They're like a sweet puppy, so I need you to back off. Pesce, what are we doing? I love how dramatically he like landed though. The self-awareness though. So he's also a Jedi? Oh, are we getting a why are we getting an explanation of the pun? What are we doing? I'm so confused. I mean, it's not really a sword, it's more of a club, but good job though. They've got some dramatic lighting on them now. Okay, but what if he just like stepped out of the way? This is a lot of workup. I like how they're combining their power though. It's cool teamwork. I like Nell's form. I like that she kind of has like a like night detailing too. Like both in her like the costume she had when she was in Espada and then in her released form. Oops. Well, that's a little anticlimactic. She used up all of her power, like all of her spiritual pressure built up. Uh-oh. Well, that's just unnecessary. Ooh. He's probably gonna have to take Orihime back, right? I don't know if he will, but that's probably what Aizen's gonna want. Oh, wow, that's a lot bigger than I thought. Ooh. Ooh. I don't like this. This seems like a very ineffective way to defeat someone by just brute force. No! See, like, now would be a good time for Orihime to do something really cool. I'm just saying. He seems unharmed despite the effort. It's true, and he is pretty good at manipulating like other people's power and stuff. True. He would have been paying attention, wouldn't he? Between like the cameras that he was monitoring and then like while he was fighting them. Yeah, Master Boy. That's what I think too. I'm like, this is taking a long time for you to like actually like get to the attack. Especially against someone who's like obviously so observant and like has such a like strategic way of thinking that you'd have to just like attack really quickly. I also didn't think they'd be powerful enough to like beat Nespada. Are we finally gonna deal with this? Thank goodness. Oh, the last one from the first generation. Is that why he was so low ranked? Is because like the Espada have gotten more and more powerful? I'm nervous that another Espada has found Rukia though. Um, no. See, this is why I was like, somebody help Rukia. Leading up to this, somebody help Sento. You guys are leaving them off on their own while they're like on the edge of death. Oh no. Ooh. Very much do not like how this episode has turned. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, but like, Orihime, any useful input would be nice. Like, anything at all. What can she do? Ichigo's literally been crushed and thrown around and has his arm broken, and he's still trying to protect her. She could do something. I want something other than repeating Ichigo's name over and over again. Hold up. Sedeki! I knew he was gonna get involved. I knew it. I was like, there's no way he's just sitting around letting Ichigo bite all the cool people. Oh, I'm so excited. Does that mean there's other people from his squad gonna be there? Oh, I knew it. I called it. I was like, there's no way Kenpachi is just like sitting in the Soul Society, following the rules, not picking a fight. I'm so happy we're getting back up. I never thought I'd be excited to see Sedeki, considering how I felt about him the first time. Like the first few episodes where we met him. But I'm so excited. Finally, someone is coming to help. Because they made it pretty clear for like this whole like last part of the arc that Ichigo and his friends are not powerful enough to make this work. Like they did okay for the like scattered Arrancar, and they even did like all right against some of the Espada, but they were not powerful enough to actually make this work. Everybody showed up! Oh, I'm so excited. People showed up. Mm-hmm. uh, Tiny nose, so chaotic. but we love her. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Mass Boy. Like, Kenpachi probably, like, there was the whole meeting with all of the different captains at the Soul Society, and they're like, yeah, so we have to deal with the whole Aizen thing, because he has, like, a bunch of, like, Arrancar now. He's got, like, an army of them. And Kenpachi was probably like, so, how do I fight him? Like, when are you gonna open up the, like, portal thing for me to get there? And when Soul Society was like, no, we gotta wait. He's probably like, no, no. He was like, he's probably insisted some like poor like Soul Reaper that is in charge of like making like gate like pathway things between the different worlds probably just traumatized one of them to make like a path for him to get there. I'm so excited he's showing up though. AB, yeah, Toshido looks like somebody from Beyblade. Didn't I already say that? Didn't I already compare? I think I compared his Bankai to Beyblade, but he does look a little bit like Kai without the face tattoos though. Mayuri versus pink-haired Espada. I mean, I mean they're both like long distance fighters. They both have the thing where they like pink hair minions that turn to go. Oh, he would probably make like a bunch of Mayuri clones. I don't want to see a bunch of Mayuris all in one place. Hi, Blair. Yeah, I agree, Mass Void, that like that I like that all of this kind of setup and like there were some times where characters like powered up in a way like we saw with like Sado, we saw some new stuff from Ishida, we've obviously seen like Ichigo has been able to like hold his hollow form longer. We saw with Rukia that she was able to do some things in her fight too, but it's interesting that like it wasn't like this big monumental like god power up thing. Like Ichigo is like can slightly longer use his hollow form, but that's like pretty much the power growth that he's had. He doesn't like magically have some new power. Um, which is like usually what happens in shonen. Like the protagonist in the main cast will just like suddenly have a new ability to beat these unbeatable odds. Whereas like in this one, they're like, this is why they are not prepared. And like this is why their plan will not work. And like, oh, is my audio cutting out? I hope not. Audio's been weird today, so um but uh but like the fact that they like set it up where literally the main cast like needs help and they need help from people who have more experience and uh a more skill set and they just need more people. Like they just need more people to help them. They're like trying to fight an army with like 5 people and it's just not gonna work. Who do I think will save Rukia? Well, from the brief preview we saw, I think I have an idea, which is a little bit shocking, but AB Soul Society said they wouldn't rush to rescue Orihime. Why do I think that they came? I think part of it is like in the case of like Kenpachi, I think it's more like a personal. I feel like I think the Soul Society like allowed it in some way because I'm sure that they could just like stop people from leaving Soul Society if they wanted to. But I think the reason that they uh time wise, like we know that there's a time limit to we know when Aizen plans to like wipe out an entire city, which they seem to be, you know, they seem to be worried about. So it might just be that, time is passing and they want to get involved. It could be also that they just wanted to send a few people to just see what Aizen like has at his disposal, like the fact that um they wanted to send a couple of people to just like see how many Arrancar there are, how many Espada they are, like what kind of what they're dealing with, right? So um I'm sure we'll find out. I'm like behind on the comments. Yeah, we still need to wait for Ulquiorra to come back. Um, he's still just hanging out in the other dimension. Ramiro, Gin, Kaname, and Aizen just like hang. I mean, I don't think Tosum would just be hanging out. He seems a little bit too uptight to be vibing. People are talking about collabs. Oh, SSS. Who's gonna show up in the next episode? That just makes me excited to see it. Did I say stop caring about Orihime? I don't think I did. I think it's more just to figure out what Aizen has, like what his, like how powerful he is. Oh, I'm just really excited for the next episode now. I just want. I'm just excited to see who all is going to show up. I'm just like trying to process it still. I'm just like you showed up, and then I called it. I was like somebody. I even said like uh that squad that I was like they're gonna be the ones like squad 11 are gonna be the ones if anyone's gonna show up, if anyone's just gonna break the rules and pick a fight with like an army of Arrancar, it's gonna be Squad 11. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. I hope internet was okay and sound, which was a little bit weird today. Um, but I will see you guys soon for more Bleach and uh other stuff coming up. Do I think Kenpachi can beat Teeth? I think it'll be an interesting fight because they both really love fighting. Like they seem to like fighting for the sake of fighting. So I think those two will be interesting to see how they just fight full out with each other. I mean, I don't think I'll be Googling any characters because I wouldn't want anything else to pull up, like maybe like the one picture itself isn't a spoiler. But if you guys really want me to see it and it's not a spoiler, like the picture itself, then you can post it on the Discord. I just don't want to Google it because sometimes it pulls up other shots from episodes and manga panels and just like other stuff about the character, so I wouldn't want to like accidentally see something I'm not supposed to, but I will have to leave you guys now, so I'll say goodbye. Ooh, and I will also say the channel passed 400 subscribers this morning, which I didn't mention before, but very exciting that that finally happened. So thank you to all the